Hello, everybody. I see everybody's coming on in. Happy Thursday, everybody. Today is January the 14th. Can you believe we're almost halfway through the first month of 2021? Blink an eye and it passes by. It's so great to see all of you. Come on in. If you have not yet grabbed the free PDF for this block, it's in the description box below. Make sure you grab that. I'm going to try to take it nice and slow for those of you sewing live with me, like Ruth, who got her fabrics ready right before we started. You can always come back on the replay and watch if you need help sewing your pieces together. Hello, everybody. Just going to give it a minute so that anybody who wants to watch live can come on in before we get started with today's block. It's so great to see you. If you're watching this on the replay, there's a little bar at the bottom of the video, and you can grab the little ball on that bar and scoot it until you see the screen switch over to my cutting mat, and that's when we're going to get started. Is anybody else buffering? Oh no, I was hoping that we're on the good internet this week, y'all. I was hoping that there's no issues with the video. Is anybody buffering? Good morning. Diane's going to attempt to sew with me today. Yay. It's fine. It's fine here. Okay, good. Maybe if you're buffering, leave the live and then re-click on it and see if that fixes it. Okay, I'm good. Oh, last week, we tried to stream live from the camper in South Carolina. And, well, we were using the hotspot. And we had been streaming Netflix. And I think we used up all the high-speed internet from the hotspot for the monthly allowance. And so by the time I streamed on Thursday, we were using the slowest internet possible. So if you stuck around during that live, thank you so much. I know it was frustrating. Good morning, everybody. It's so great to see you. Y'all stay tuned. After we're done with this block, I have a couple of projects I want to show you. Stuff that's coming up soon. Super cute things. So you can stay tuned for that. It's so great to see everybody. It's so great to see everybody. So this block, okay, we're revisiting the spool block. Y'all remember back at the beginning of all of the shutdown quarantine stuff. We went live every day doing a traditional quilt block. Those quilt blocks date back to very early days of quilting, very traditional quilt blocks. We did the spool block. It's a 12.5-inch block. But it looks totally different than the one we're doing today. I had a special request from Claire. She contacted me over on Etsy and said she would like to do a 10.5-inch spool block. Could I design one for her? So that's what I did. Today's block finishes at 10 inches in your quilt, but when you make the block, it finishes 10.5 by 10.5. And I did this one scrappy so that you could use up parts of your stash and hopefully not have to buy many fabrics for this block. Right? We're using scraps today. Oh, Kim said she left and came back and it's all good now. Yay! Yay! It's so great to see all y'all. It's so great to see you. Ooh, Elaine said this is your first time live. I'm so glad you're here. Now, if you're watching this and you haven't subscribed, make sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification, and choose all. And you'll get notified when I release new videos, when I go live, and it's a great way to follow along. Katrina has a question. She made the crazy quilt heart applique. It's so cute. I need to make it bigger. I need to make a bigger crazy quilt project. I can't figure out what I'm doing. All right, Katrina, in the description box below, if you have Facebook, I highly suggest joining the creative crew. because you could post that question over there, and I'm sure you would get so much help. We have so many math wizards over there that I'm sure that they would be absolutely happy to help you figure out a good size block for the size quilt that you want to do. So the creative crew would be my first go-to for help like that. Cheryl, you're feeling dizzy. I'm so sorry. I'll be praying for you, Cheryl, and everybody pray for Cheryl that her dizziness goes away. I am feeling low blood sugar today, so I have orange juice instead of coffee or instead of water. So if my hands are super shaky today, that might be one of the reasons why. Yeah, Katrina, open the description box. There's a link there that'll bring you over to the group. Make sure you answer the 2 security questions so we can bring you into the group. And then it's a great resource for inspiration and for help. Ooh, Mimsy just posted the link in the chat. All right, everybody. We're going to go ahead and switch the screens. We're going to jump into this block. If you're watching on the replay, now would be a good time to stop skipping and to follow along. Here is the block that I pre-made just to check all of the measurements. Here is the 1-page PDF. It's going to give you the size increments to cut all of your pieces, and then a basic plan for putting this block together. So if by chance you are unable to print, I'm going to go over the measurements for these pieces so that you can write this down. Jeannie said this was one of the blocks she never got to do. Well, this one, Jeannie, is a little bit different than the traditional spool block we did, but it's super cute, right? All right, let's go over the fabrics that you need. You're going to need 2 background fabrics. One is the space around the spool, and one is the spool color itself, okay? You need a background fabric, this empty space, 4.5 by 4.5. And a spool fabric, this fabric here, 4.5 by 4.5. You need 2 of those. Then you need background fabric, the empty space, 2 pieces that measure 2.5 inches wide and 6.5 inches tall, and 2 spool fabrics, 2.5 by 6.5. Okay, and then you're going to need 6 scraps of fabric, and these are cut 1.5 by 6.5. They're all piled up here, but there's 6 of them. 1.5 by 6.5. Those are the pieces that you need to construct this block. It's so great to see you. It's so great to see you. So we're going to follow the plan on this PDF. And the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to make 4 half square triangles from the 4.5 inch pieces. Okay. So we're going to put pretty sides together. I have little fuzzies everywhere. Pretty sides together and match up all of those raw edges just like this. And I like to just throw a pin in there just to keep these layers in place. We're going to bring this over to the sewing machine and we're going to sew with a 1/4 inch seam allowance on all 4 sides from edge to edge. So make sure you set a 1/4 inch seam allowance on your sewing machine. And we're just going to do all 4 sides and then come back. Now I am using a dark thread in my sewing machine, hoping that you can see this. I don't know that I would use a dark thread for these 2 pieces, but the dark thread, hopefully you'll be able to see what I'm doing. All right, we're just sewing all 4 sides. stay nice and straight as possible. I'm just going to rotate this around. We'll cut off this little leader, just like that. I don't even break the thread. I just turn it right around and keep on going. And one more side. All right. That's that part. Half square triangles, super duper fast and easy. I'm going to wake up my iron and get her warming up. We can take this pin out. And I am going to give this a press as soon as my iron heats up just a little bit, just to flatten those seams before I cut it. So glad y'all are hanging out with me today. Is she warming up? All right, nice and flat. We're going to cut this unit into 4 pieces from corner to corner, okay? Just going to bring in this little small square ruler, just like that. We're going to cut from corner to corner, like that. Then we'll cut these triangles right in half. So there's one. And the second. And then, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and trim off the little tips of my triangles. Just like this. We will be squaring these units up here in just a second. We're going to press them open, and then we will square them up to 2.5 by 2.5. So if you're working faster than I am, you will square these half square triangles to 2.5 by 2.5. So there's all my little bits. Now I'm just going to press these, and I have my iron off to the side. You can't really see it. For these half square triangle units, I am going to press them open just like that. Usually I like to press to one side or the other, but for this block I'm going to press them open. I think it'll lend to a flatter block when we're done. Hi, Pat. I'm so glad you're here. Oh, my hands are shaky today, y'all. Shaky, shaky. So once your pieces are pressed, that's what they're going to look like. I meant to, you know what I'm going to do while I'm doing this, because I am a slow presser, y'all. While I'm doing this, I meant to show you 3 different layouts of this block. I'll pull that up on the screen so you can see that. 3 different layouts of this block. All a 10-inch block. One of them, you just make the blocks and you alternate and turn every other one. The middle layout is all the blocks in the same direction. The third layout is with a blank 10-inch block in between your spool blocks. Gives it a totally different look, right? And of course, you would just make the number of blocks to get to the size of the quilt that you want to do. Which one is your favorite? This is not the only 3 layouts you could do with this block, let me tell you, but this the first quickest 3 layouts that I could come up with. It certainly isn't limited to just these layouts. But out of these 3, which one is your favorite? Zella likes 3. Mathilda likes 3. Kimberly said the first one looks 3D. I know, right? It does. Jeannie likes the third one. Sheila likes the first one. Carmen likes the one with the plain block. Yeah. I think they're all kind of really neat, right? So glad I remembered to pull that up on the screen. All right, so I've pressed my half square triangles. The next thing we're going to do is square them up because at this point they're a little bit bigger than we need them to be. And we need to trim them to 2.5 by 2.5, okay? So just use your little square ruler. Line them up at 2.5 by 2.5. That seam should be going on the diagonal right there. And I'm just going to trim off these 2 sides here. Like that. And like that. We're going to do that for all 4 of them. Line them up on the 2.5 mark and trim the sides. Oops, that was not right. There we go. I almost made a boo-boo. I almost did. All right, I only have one left to do. All right, now we have 4 half square triangles. They measure 2.5 by 2.5. That's probably the hardest part of this whole block, y'all. That's probably it. So once we get our half square triangles done, we're going to start assembling the center part, the scrappy part of our spool. Okay, so let's bring in these 6 1.5 by 6.5 inch pieces. And you can just arrange them any which way you like. I think it would be fun to use all different color pieces to make it look like variated thread. That would be pretty. You could use all the same colorway and start from light to dark or dark to light, and that would look like variated thread. Or you can use all the same colors and it's just a solid color thread, right? The awesome thing is that it's totally up to you because you're the designer of your quilt block. So there's my 6 pieces. There they are. So at this point, we're just going to be doing some sewing, and I'm going to switch you over to the sewing machine. I'm going to be there for a minute because we're going to attach all of these pieces using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And I kind of want to keep them all in the same order that I've laid them out here. And again, the order that you sew them in might be totally different. The goal is to make this one unit, right? That's the goal. I'm going to switch you over to the sewing machine. Let's do this so you can see my mat at the same time. I'm going to flip the pretty sides together like that and bring this over. We want to stay as straight as possible so that our rows stay nice and straight. So I'm just going to do some chain piecing here, y'all, and you can kind of see the order that I'm bringing everything over. Lining up those raw edges nice and straight. Like this. I guess you could use one, if you just wanted to do a solid color, I think you could certainly do that. And once I'm done sewing this together, let's measure it so I can give you a measurement. If you just want to cut one piece instead of stitching all of these together. Remind me to measure it. All right, so we have groups of 2, and now we need to combine those. So let's open up these 2. I'm not even going to press them yet. I'm just going to stay right here at the sewing machine and join everything together. I just heard my bird downstairs. I hope that he don't start. He is so spoiled. He loves going camping. And in our camper, he can see everything we do all day long. Where he is in our camper, he gets a front seat view to his mom and dad all day long. So after 2 weeks, that's all he wants to do is be around us. And since we've gotten home, he goes downstairs during the day and we're upstairs working. He has not been happy. He has not been happy. All right. We just have this one little small unit left to attach. I'm just going to finger press that down so it'll stay open. And it goes like that. Yeah, he was spoiled after 2 weeks. I'd say he has the hardest time adjusting to coming home. All right, that's it. Now, ordinarily, I would, let's switch this over. Ordinarily, I would press my seams to the side because that's what I usually do because it's so much faster. But I do think all of these seams together, this close together on these pieces, that this piece would lay flatter if you press them open. So if you need a drink or a snack, now's the time to get up because you're not going to miss much while I'm pressing. I am going to, though, move my pressing board over so that you get to watch me fumble with these seams. Now that we've done all of our cutting and everything, There we go. Our trip was awesome. It was so quiet. It was so quiet. It was cold, but it was quiet. All right, because I'm pressing my seams open, I'm going to work from the back. And I just like to finger press that open first, kind of get it open, and then we're going to press nice and flat. It was so quiet. So there's one. Does anybody use clappers when they press their seams? I've been thinking about getting one. You know, everybody got all these really neat gadgets for Christmas, and so they've been sharing in different groups over on Facebook. So many people have gotten clappers this year for Christmas. They're the little wood blocks that have some weight to them, and after you press a seam, you lay it down on your seam, and it just helps get a really, really nice flat seam, right? I've never had one, but after seeing so many people get them for Christmas, I've kind of been thinking about it. I don't know if I would use it or not. It might be one of those gadgets that I get thinking I would use it all the time. And then 3 years later, I'm like, I never use this. Who wants this? Because I don't use it. I don't know. Mimsy, you have one on your wish list. Dorothy, you have one. Do you use it often? See how slow I am? This is why I usually press my seams to one side. Carmen, you got one this year. It's really cool. So you've used it. Dorothy uses it all the time. It really makes a difference. You know what? Maybe I will get one. Maybe I just will. I'm going to tell you, Facebook is a dangerous place to go after Christmas because people share all the, the goodies and the things that they got for Christmas. And then I'm like, my shopping list starts getting really long because I'm like, yeah, I think I want that too. Kind of at a point though where I'm destashing a lot of stuff. So everything that's on that wish list, I have to really consider because I am destashing a lot of stuff. I'm even just destashing, words are difficult, destashing some of my quilt projects that I've made in videos. I think I'm going to sell a couple of them in my Etsy shop. I think I am. I don't know what else to do with all this stuff. I don't know what else to do with it. Just the pile keeps growing bigger and bigger. All right, let me press one more time from the top. Nice and flat. And then I'm going to measure this. So if you want to do one solid piece of fabric, maybe you have some fabric that has stripes in it that would be really cool. Or have y'all seen the salvage edge fabric? Maybe you want to use that. This piece needs to measure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.5 inches wide and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.5 inches tall. If you want to cut one solid piece, 6.5 by 6.5. My bird is mad. He is mad right now. Once we have that piece made, we're just assembling this block, y'all, so we can lay it all out. Scoot over. Let's see. We're going to put one of the 2.5 by 6.5 spool blocks on the top and bottom. like that. And then the two background pieces, same measurements, 2.5 by 6.5, there and there. And then our half square triangles go in the center, or go in the four corners, like this. Ta-da! Always get them turned around. There we go. And then in the opposite way down here. So at this point, we have 3 small rows to assemble. Just like that. For those that are sewing with me live, I'm just going to take a break right here and see if you can catch up. I'm hoping that I don't get too far ahead of you. Just like that. Like that. And maybe I can catch up on the chat for a second. If you're watching on the replay, fast forward till you see me switch the screens. Cheryl said he needs some loving. He needs to see me or his dad all the time. Usually it's not so bad, though, on a normal day. I think because our camping trip was so long, it was like 2 weeks, he just loved seeing everything we were doing and being involved in that. And here at home, life is different. You know, my husband is still working from home. Harlan has an office upstairs. And I'm here upstairs in my studio working. And so during the day, during the Monday through Friday, we're working. And he's downstairs and he cannot see us. It's usually not bad unless we've been out camping. Oh, that orange juice is good. All right. I really like these colors together. I think they're pretty. What kind of bird? He is a cockatoo, an umbrella cockatoo. He is almost 13 years old. His hatch date is in March. And so he'll be 13 in March. And we've had him since he was 6 months old. So we've had him a pretty long time. And he is spoiled rotten. During the day, he goes downstairs. At night, he comes upstairs to our bedroom. And, yeah. Hey, Dawn, we're making the Scrappy spool block. It's a 10-inch quilt block. 10.5 unfinished, right? And there is a link for the free pattern in the description box. Yes, they are really, really loud. His normal chatter talking is not loud, but he can get very loud when he's calling for us or when he's mad. You can hear him outside on the street. Valeria, you made it. Hello. All right, we are at the stage where we're going to start sewing these 3 strips together. And y'all, we've done this part of the process so many times during that whole series, but I'm going to bring you along for this part of the process too. It'll just give us more time to hang out with each other. But basically we're just sewing 3 rows, right? 3 rows. I'm going to start up here at this top one. Dawn is on her lunch break. I have not had lunch yet. You know what? This leader is super big. Let me cut it. There we go. All right, and while I'm still here at the sewing machine, I'm going to bring in the third piece for this row. So let's just flip that open. Oh, I have a hard time putting that where you can see it. I'm going to bring in this third piece. Make sure it's going in the right direction. Flip it pretty side down onto that middle section and sew that seam. All right, so there is the top row. Repeating the process for this middle row. Line that up. Yeah, he wants to make sure I hear him. I don't know how you can not hear him. I'll line that up nice and straight along the side. Nice and straight. I think I stretched my strips a little bit when I pressed them. I think I did. And then I also want to make sure that those seams are still open when I'm sewing down the side. So there's one side. Let's flip it around and add the next side. All right, and then we're going to finish this part up by attaching the three pieces at the bottom. Just like that. Flip it over and add this last piece, just like that. So that was pretty simple, right? That was pretty simple. And now I'm going to go ahead and press these. Confession, I will be pressing these seams over to the side and not open. Okay, so these seams I'm going to press towards the center piece. These seams I'm going to press out towards the side pieces. And then these pieces will go towards the center like that. And that's also going to help me line up my seams where these pieces meet when we join all three pieces together. Anna May, I have a video that will probably be more helpful. It's a pretty short video. It talks about some of the reasons why I use a little piece of fabric when I start sewing. And they're called leaders and enders. Leaders and enders. So I'm just going to press these. Basically, it helps save thread, right? Because when you pull that thread away from your machine to cut it, you go through a lot more thread versus using a leader and an ender. It also helps prevent thread nesting, and I show a really good example of that in the video. So there's that. And we're just pressing this middle section. You're welcome, Kimberly. I want to thank my moderators. Thank y'all so much. This sure takes away a lot of stress not having to monitor the chat myself and stay focused so that I don't mess up my blocks. I still might mess up my blocks, but y'all take away so much stress. Thank y'all so much. Cheryl, my hands are super shaky. They have been for the last couple of days, but it's a hormonal thing. So usually around the same time every month, my hormones go wackadoodle and my blood sugar goes along with it. And so, you know, even with my normal shaky hands, it's like 10 times worse. So, you know, I do things like drink orange juice and it helps. Here we are with these 3 sections. Whoa, I'm glad I noticed that. There we go. And now all we have left to do is 2 seams, right? We're going to attach these pieces here and here. And because I've pressed those seams in opposite directions, that's going to really help nest those seams right there. Let me bring this over. We're almost done, y'all. I'll lock those seams right there. And come down to the other side and lock those seams. You could throw some pins in there if that helped you. If that helps you keep your pieces lined up nice and straight. All right, let's add this one last piece. Make sure I have it going the right way. And then we'll sew it. There we go. Our block is done. I'm just going to give this a press and we're all done. Now, one of the things that I noticed about the spool block is there's only about 100,000 different variations of spool blocks out there, right? So if you want to make a spool block quilt, I would Google different patterns and see which one you like the best. There's so many cute ones out there. But I kind of like the Scrappy one because, to be honest, I could just pull little tidbits of my stash and make a whole quilt without having to buy any yardage, which is lovely. That's one of the reasons I'm a huge fan of Scrappy blocks, Scrappy projects, and applique, because you use so many little tidbits of fabric when you're doing applique. All right. I'm just press this from the front and I'll move it over so you can see it. Ta-da! Ta-da! So let's put them side by side. This is the one I made before, and this is the one we just made together. Aren't those pretty? Valeria, your eldest daughter, ooh, she's hooked on quilting. Aw, I think that's awesome. Isn't this pretty? I kind of really like these blue and yellows together. I really do. Excuse me. That's the only thing about orange juice. You're welcome, June. You're welcome. I guess I can scoot this out of the way. There we go. Yeah, Hazel, you could add a sashing in between. You could do all kinds of stuff, right? That would look really pretty with a sashing in between them. And in case you just came on and you missed it, let me pull up again one more time, just 3 quick examples of what you could do with this block. That's just 3 variations, y'all. There's like endless possibilities of what you could do with this block. But that's 3 different variations. Could you do one single straight piece for the block? Cheryl, do you mean the middle section instead of piecing the little pieces together? Yes. And if you do, you need to cut it 6.5 by 6.5. And that could be the thread for your quilt block. Dawn wonders how they would look on point. Ooh, I don't know, Miss Dawn. I don't know. Let's take a look. Although you're not going to see too much of an example, but like this, like that. The whole square. Right there, 6.5 by 6.5. There we go. So imagine if you're watching this on the replay and you were just here for the tutorial on how to put this together. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to come back and check out more fun projects. Now we're going to, I'm going to do a little show and tell of stuff coming up. Because I said in the beginning of this video I would do that. I'm just going to stack these right up here and put that pretty block right there. I have some really cute mug rug patterns coming out soon, y'all. Look at that. See the anchor? Isn't that cute? My Nana would love this so much. Now, the name, the person who requested this one has slipped my mind, and I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I should have checked Etsy messages before I came live. But she asked a couple weeks ago if I would design an anchor mug rug because she had several people who wanted one, and she wanted to make them for all of those people. So this is coming out soon. Isn't that cute? Very easy. Easy instructions for this one. An anchor mug rug. And then a birthday cake mug rug. Look, I've done this in 2 different colorways. A girl one and a boy one. How cute is that? This one was super duper easy too. Yes, Sherry, that is the same anchor I did. I cut like 84 of them for those 5 quilts. I just shrunk it down and put it to the mug rug. Yes. Birthday cake, that's a lot of fun. How cute would it be to pull this out, you know, on someone's birthday and they get a special little mug rug to eat breakfast or go in the lunchbox, stuff like that. And then the Tooth Fairy, this was also requested, a little Tooth Fairy mug rug with a pocket. So I designed this one so that you could have so much fun with different ways to customize this, because in this section here, you could embroider someone's name on it or their birthday. You could use heat transfer vinyl. You could use fabric markers. You could draw a face on the tooth if you wanted to. You could write someone's name on the tooth if you wanted to. But this section here is really great for the cup size, like this. And it has a little flap pocket, y'all, that you could put the tooth in. Little tooth. You could add a snap or Velcro if you want. The instructions do not include that, but look, it stays closed. The way that you make this, the flap stays closed. And if you're trying to be sneaky at night and you're grabbing this underneath the pillow, undoing the snap or the Velcro makes noise, right? So I did not add a snap or Velcro to mine, but it stays closed just like that. And there will be a video out for this one, just so I can show you how to do the pocket, although the instructions pretty much walk you through it. I think the video will be really helpful for those who might be confused about the pocket. Isn't that cute? What size are these mug rugs? Let's see. This one is 8 by 10, I think, and this one is 8.5 by 11, and this one was 8 by 10, I think, or 8.5 by 10.5. Where's my patterns? Let me grab them. Let's see, the Tooth Fairy mug rug is 10 inches by 8. So it's 10 inches by 8 inches. The birthday cake is 8.5 by 11. So basically the size of a standard sheet of copy paper. And the anchor is 8.5 by 10.5. So pretty good size mug rugs. I like my mug rugs to be bigger because I like to use them as snack mats, right? So a lot of the mug rugs I design are about the size of a sheet of paper. Plus I like to hang them on the wall as little art quilts too. The patterns will be out tomorrow in my Etsy shop. They're all done. Everything's listed. I just have to hit publish. And then I will be working on a video for certain about this one. To be really honest, the birthday cake and the anchor, y'all could probably make these without a video. I might do a quick video walking through the steps for those who are extremely new. But the instructions lay out everything, and these two are very, very simple. This one, for sure, I'll be making a video, and that'll be out sometime next week. But the patterns are going in the Etsy shop tomorrow. If you are in the Creative Squad, you got this pattern for free, and you already have it. This was January's free pattern for the Creative Squad. So that's already up there. Also, if you are in the Creative Squad, you got this pattern, which will not be released to anybody except for Creative Squad members. But this is a really cool size mug rug too. I like it because you can set a drink and still use it as a mouse pad. Like that. Vicky says, well, I'm sitting in my living room and finally figured out I can watch the live on TV. and read the chat on my tablet. Whoa! I'm on the big screen. I'm on the big screen. I don't know why that always makes me nervous when someone says they've put me up on the big TV. All of a sudden I get nervous. I don't know why. Hazel said the Creative Squad. Okay, yeah, before we go, let me talk about the Creative Squad for a second. You'll notice on this live chat that I've taken away the super chat function during the live chat. For those of you who would donate super chat during lives, thank y'all so much. Thank you so much for doing that. But what I've done is I've taken away the super chat because for those who want to help make these videos possible, I want to give you something in return. So I did make a membership over on Patreon. There's 4 different tiers. There's a link to it in the description box. So you can sign up on 4 different tiers. You get your name in the video credits. Like at the beginning of this video, you'll notice the Creative Squad, a special thank you to them. You get free patterns, like they got the birthday cake mug rug already, and they get it free. They get exclusive patterns like this one for free. This one is only offered to Creative Squad. They get an exclusive Zoom once a month. It is set up for the 23rd. I think that's the day. They get the ability to chat amongst the Creative Squad. There's the highest tier, which only has 6 openings, and that tier is really designed for those who, oh, what did I do? Now I have to get some hydrogen peroxide. I got blood on my thing. The highest tier, stay focused, Lisa, is really designed for those who want to like open Etsy shops or start making tutorials or go into business with their craft. And they get a one-on-one monthly Zoom with me where we can help them build their business and stuff like that. So yeah, that's what Creative Squad is. Creative Crew is not going away. That'll be there forever and ever through however long Facebook is available. And that'll always remain a free group. You don't have to Zoom if you don't want to, but the Creative Squad does a monthly Zoom, and it's only Creative Squad members. And it's a structured Zoom where we each will have a certain amount of time to talk. So we all get to ask questions or share what we're working on, versus Creative Crew Zooms where it's kind of a free-for-all. Right? It's kind of unstructured. But yeah. That's a little bit. If you go to the link, you'll be able to look at the different tiers and see what all you get for the different tiers. I cannot believe I scratched my arm and then got blood on my anchor quilt. There is a cost to join, Cheryl. It's a $5, a $10, a $25, and a $50 tier. The $50 tier is really geared towards those who want to start a business or learn more about that kind of side of things, or for someone who's extremely new and wants more one-on-one personal help. I could tutor them. We do a private Zoom meeting once a month. There's only 6 slots of that one. But yeah, I've taken away the super chat feature here on YouTube. That way, if you want to help donate, you get something for it. I always felt so bad when, I appreciate the donations, but I want to give you something in return. So yeah, this has been on my mind for a couple of months, and put that into play about a week ago. It is monthly. You pay through PayPal. So you hook it up to your PayPal, and they take it out. As soon as you join up, you pay the $5 or the $10. And then on the first of every month after that, they take the $5 or the $10, whatever tier you sign up for, on the first of the month. And it goes through PayPal. And then at any time, if you want to discontinue that, you just go back to Patreon and you unsubscribe to my Patreon. So it's not like you're signing up for a year commitment. It's you can come and go. You can come and go. But yeah, we're still going to do, because so many people, when I introduced the Patreon over on Facebook, there might be other ways to pay, Cheryl. I do know that PayPal is one of the main ways that you can sign up for Patreon. I think there's another one like Venmo or something. I don't know too much about that, but you can look into it. There is another way to pay. But so many people had questions when I introduced over on Facebook my Patreon page. We're still doing lots of free stuff over here. I'm still making videos. Just like today's block pattern is free, we will still continue to do that. Every once in a while, I do list patterns in my Etsy shop, just like I have from the beginning of my channel. I like to give, and every once in a while, I have a paid pattern. Just like always. So we're not stopping any of that. And come July, we're going to be making a Christmas sampler quilt. That's going to be 12 free blocks. We're going to do 12 videos. I haven't decided if that will be live or pre-recorded. I'm kind of thinking live. But start saving your red, green, white, silver, and gold fabrics for that. They don't have to be Christmas fabrics, but just that color combination will make this a Christmas sampler quilt. It's going to be 12 blocks. We're going to start that in July. All free blocks. In November, I'm going to do 12 days of Christmas gifts. So that'll be 12 videos of small projects that you can give away to your friends and family for Christmas. That's in November. So lots of fun stuff. I don't know too much about Venmo. I see people talking about Venmo on Facebook, but I don't know what Venmo is. Maybe I should look more into it. Ruth, you got 2 blocks? You're going to post them on Facebook. Oh, yay. As soon as we're done, I'm going to go look. Venmo is like PayPal. It's just a different company that processes payments. Yeah, Sherry said similar to PayPal. It's just a different company. Tammy said, I registered for the Creative Squad. Didn't receive anything yet. All right, so Tammy, let's make sure that you might need to install the app if you're using your cell phone. Or check your email. Make sure your email address is right when you register with the Patreon, because I think you get email updates from me. But there's a page, and it looks kind of like my Facebook page. Let me show you. You know what? I'll show you. Let me show you. That'll be easier. Screen sharing. All right, everything's going to look crazy for a second. Let me pull this down. And let me pull this down. I have the Patreon link saved right to my desktop, so I can just click on it. And of course, my page is going to look a little bit different than yours because I'm the host of this particular Patreon. So when you open Patreon, it's going to look a little bit different. But you should have a list over on the left of people that you subscribe to on Patreon. And so you'll click on Creative Squad by Lisa Capen Quilts. And this is what the page will look like. It should have my banner up at the top. And I went through all my social media platforms and made all of the banners the same so that you recognize me no matter where you are. And this is what the page looks like. Look, there's already 2 mug rug patterns. Okay, so you know the family tree art quilt where I painted the tree and then printed the pictures? I turned that into a printable pattern. And Mary, who is a Patreon, requested that. So I did that for her, and it's uploaded here. So that's free. There's a tab for exclusive post. This is the mug rug pattern that's only available here. And then, yeah, let's scroll through. Clear all filters. So this is where you would get the free birthday mug rugs, and they get it before anybody in the Etsy shop. They have the PDF and the SVG file. If they have a cutting machine, they can get both. And then I did a live stream here a couple days ago, so that's here. I shared pictures of the needle book because Mary was asking for close-ups of the needle book that's in my travel hexie box that Sally made. So I took close-ups of that. I did a private stream. And then I show a lot of behind-the-scenes kind of stuff. And this is really where I'm going to focus a lot of this kind of content because I have so many people who contact me and say, I really want to make tutorials. What kind of webcams do you have? How many webcams do you have? What kind of tripod do you use? What streaming software do you use? So this is going to be where a lot of that stuff happens for those who want to start making tutorials. The Zoom is scheduled for the 23rd at 8 p.m. Here's a behind the scenes photo of my studio. Yes, here's the 17-page printout, full size of the family tree. So like Mary didn't have a projector. So the way I sold this pattern, you use a projector to trace the tree. Over here, I turned that into a 17-page PDF, and this is the only place you'll find that. So yeah, this is a lot like Facebook in the way that the page is set up. You can scroll through all of the posts. There's even shortcuts up at the top of the page to help you jump around. So if you just want to see the mug rug post, you would click on mug rugs, and here is only the mug rug posts, right? You scroll through them. Art quilt post, exclusives, which means only for Patreon, and then the monthly free one. So each month they get a free pattern. So I hope that's helpful. Should be a lot of fun. And it's really, to be honest, it's really just my way of thanking everybody who has donated. I just always feel like my heart feels sad when someone donates that I can't instantly give them something. So yeah, I took off the super chat. But don't forget, Creative Crew, that's the free Facebook page, y'all. We have over 4,500 members over on the Creative Crew. That group is growing and growing. We still do the live show and tell every other Tuesday evening. So next Tuesday is when we do that. And we do Zooms on Creative Crew. those are kind of a free-for-all. And sometimes we use talking sticks and other times we don't. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. We have gotten to know each other so well. But we also do lives over there too. And I encourage other creative crew members, if they have skills that they want to share with everybody, to post videos and go live. Like Linda does Quilt As You Go videos. Alexa has done a popcorn bag video. So there's several different lives going on sometimes too. Sherry says, we donate because you are already giving us something. I know, but I just feel like I need to get tangible, something that you can hold on to. You can hold on to this. Tangible. I don't know. I'm just kind of funny like that. Diane, you scratched your leg this morning? I know, I must have scratched a little place on my arm, and now I have to go through and fix my little anchor mug rug. Fortunately, I found that using some hydrogen peroxide and then washing it should get that right off. Yay. Yeah, so y'all start saving. Start saving red, green, white, silver, and gold fabrics. They don't necessarily have to be Christmas. The quilt that we make from these blocks is going to scream Christmas just from the color combination. So it doesn't have to be Christmas fabrics, but start saving them up. It's going to be 12 blocks. I don't have like a predetermined amount of yardage to tell you to save. Y'all, most of my blocks, I like to do scrappy. So don't throw anything away. If you're making another quilt and it's one of those colors or something that would go with that, just save bits and pieces. I try not to do lots of quilts where I have to buy lots of yardage. Every once in a while. But for these blocks, we're going to go scrappy. Do you need to join Patreon for Creative Squad? Yes. Yes. What size do you expect the block size to be? I think it is a 12-inch block, Sherry. I think it's a 12-inch block. Let me take a look at my planner. I don't know that it's here in my planner. It might be in my planner. I think 12.5 by 12.5, I believe, but don't hold me to that. It might be in my other notebook. 12.5 by 12.5 is a good, decent size block anyway. And because it's going to only be 12 blocks to this quilt, it's not going to be a super huge quilt. We might add a sashing. We might not. We might add borders. We might not. So it's going to be like twin size at the most. But I'm thinking a really great lap size quilt, right? There will be ways to make that quilt bigger if you want to. Do we need a neutral background for the sampler? I would say yes. Yes. And my neutral backgrounds are usually like white, or my favorite is like the tea-stained muslin. That's my go-to for background fabric. I just love it so much, and it goes with everything. But yeah. Yay, my thumbs up nearly matches my viewers. Yay, y'all, thank y'all so much. You know, you don't have to do the extra things like Patreon and buying Etsy patterns and stuff like that. If you just thumbs up my video, it helps my channel so much. Just like with me, any of the video creators you watch here on YouTube, If you just comment, like say, hey, I love your video, and you give them a thumbs up, that helps their channel so much. So yeah, any of the people that you like to watch out there, if you want to help them out, give them a thumbs up. A simple comment would be awesome. That's like giving them, you know, a hug, because YouTube loves that. Even if you thumbs down their video, YouTube loves that. So I thank everybody for giving me a thumbs down too, because they're actually helping my channel. So thank you so much. But yeah, I have several people that I love to watch, not just in the quilting world, but in the journaling world, in the camping world, and wow, all the different genres of videos that I watch. I have like 12 favorites that anytime they upload a video, I am watching it. And yeah, a simple thumbs up and a comment really helps them out. How do you find the link to Patreon? Cheryl, you'll need to leave the live chat. You need to close the live chat, click on the X, and then open the description box. And if you can't find the description box, let me show you where that is. Screen sharing. Let's see. This is one of the guys that I love to watch learn to play violin.
How are you? In this video, we're going to play in the key.
I love watching his videos. I always, see, I've already thumbed up this video. See how it's blue? All right, so on a computer, if you want to find the description box, you scroll down underneath of their little profile picture and the name of their channel. You'll see some writing that tells about that video, and then you see a little thing that says show more. If you click on that, oh, he doesn't have anything in his description box. Oh, y'all check this out if y'all want to learn how to play violin or just hang out with this dude. He's really awesome. Let me show you on one of my videos, because I know I have description boxes. There we go. I'm going to pause it. Oh, look, 2 thumbs down. Thank y'all so much for helping my channel. All right, you see Lisa Capen Quilts. Download free materials here. You might see some links that were close to the top, but you'll see this box that says show more. And when you click on it, there's the description box, all of the links. Sometimes there's different videos in there for you to check out. Creative Crew, Facebook, Etsy. If you don't do Facebook and you want to send me a message, click on my Etsy shop and send me a message there. There's links to free patterns. There's links to Etsy patterns. Some of the supplies I use are sometimes linked in there. And it has all kinds of fun stuff. On a phone, it's going to look a little bit different. Whoa. On a phone, it's going to look a little bit different. There's going to be a little gray arrow next to the title of the video. And you click on that little gray arrow. You probably have seen it. You just never clicked on it. And then, yeah, you click on that arrow and it opens up the description box. When does the sampler start? We're going to start that in July. Christmas in July, Mimsy. I haven't yet decided. What do y'all think? Should we do 12 live videos with the links of the free blocks in each one of the videos? Or should I pre-record them so that you can go through them quickly? I don't know. I don't know. You know, it's so funny because everybody's so different. While we were on vacation, I had a lot of time on my hands, so I spent a lot more time than I probably should have over on Facebook. And I belong to lots of different creative groups, not just quilting, but embroidery, journaling, bag making, all kinds of creative groups on Facebook. And it's so funny because it's like things are trending. Just like with the clappers, I saw lots of them. I also saw lots of comments on these creative crew, not creative crew group. I have not seen any of these comments there. On these other groups, that a good majority of people do not like the live videos. They don't like the structure of live videos. They don't like all the chatting with their friends. Or when someone joins saying, hey, Cheryl. Hi, Charla. Hey, Sherry. Hi, Kimberly. Hi, Bella. They hate that. They want to get to the point and get it over with. And so, and you know what? I get it. When I'm trying to learn something and I'm stumped on something, I want something that's going to help me get through that and back to work. That's not why we do these live videos, though. I have lots of videos that I try to make short, 20, 30 minutes. Some are even shorter than that. My old videos are like an hour and a half. I'm getting better on that. I'm getting better. But the lives really came to be here on my channel, something totally different. We learn something. We do a project together. But it's more than that. It's more about the community and the friendship that we have built here, particularly on my channel, with each other. And I don't want to stop doing that, and I'm not going to change that. We'll still do pre-recorded short videos. But that's why I was asking, Christmas in July, the sampler quilt, should we do it live? Or should I pre-record it? What do you think? Vicky says, I love the long videos. I love the community. Me too, Kimberly. Cheryl says, I love the live chats. Me too. Although I get really nervous, I'm getting better about it. Oh, Mimsy said, there are some lives that are very slow paced. Yours are not like those. Y'all notice I did try to change it up just a little bit and tweak it so that there was a small intro period as people came in, and then we kind of stayed focused on making the block. And then we've saved a lot of the chitter chatter for the last part, right? I think that'll work better for those who have, they want to just make the project. I get it. I'm learning. Cheryl says, someday I want to write a book. Sorry, y'all. I'm just scrolling through comments because I know I've missed a lot. If y'all have questions for me, now's a good time to ask them. I'm going to scroll through some of this stuff. I might still miss your questions. So if you're still here and you have questions for me, now's a good time to ask them before we go. Do you have a book world for writing books? Cheryl, I've never written a book. I bet you there's YouTube videos about it, though. I bet you there's YouTube videos. I've never done it, so I surely wouldn't want to lead you in the wrong direction. Your book would probably, it's been so long since I've been in school, it would probably look like a 1992 term paper. I don't know anything about editing and formatting a book. Oh, half live and half recorded. That's a good idea. I like that. Jill said, if it's Christmas in July, what's the rush? Well, I wanted to do the sampler quilt in July and do 12 videos in July so that gives you July, August, September, October, November, and have your quilt done in time to gift for Christmas or to use at Christmas time, right? So I want to just group all of those videos at the, back to back to back to back so that you can have several months to make this quilt in time for Christmas. And some of us are a lot faster than others, right? Y'all are so sweet. Y'all are so sweet. Oh yeah, I love the tea caddy, Sylvia. I still have one that I want to give to my daughter. Tammy says she's struggling. PayPal says I paid. Patreon says I need to register. You might need to set up a Patreon account, and that's free. It doesn't cost anything to register with Patreon. They want you to have a name on Patreon, like Tammy, and a password so that no one can get into your account on Patreon. That is free to do. To follow Patreon accounts, that's when you would pay. But if you register for Patreon, that is free, and you probably need to do that and then move on. Veronica, I think it's monthly. I don't know if there's a yearly option to pay for Patreon. And monthly, at least, if like right now might be a great time if you want to join up on Patreon, but in 3 months from now, things could change financially. And if you don't want to do it anymore, you can go in 3 months from now and cancel it, right? And it does come out automatically. So it's not something you have to remember to do. But if you don't want to do it anymore, you do have to go turn it off. Oh, I see what you're saying, Jill. Yeah, what's the hurry if they want to? They don't like the longer videos. A lot of people just want to get to the point, show them how to do something, and get them on their way, which I get. I get that. Ooh, Zella says maybe do 2 blocks at a time. That's a good idea. Like if we went live, we could knock out 2 blocks. I'll have to see how that works. Y'all are so sweet, learning without stress. Yay, I'm so glad. Hazel, thank you so much. I look forward to the lives too. I want to just thank y'all so much for hanging out with me. I try not to do the commercial things, but so many people have asked about the Patreon that I thought talking about it and being able to answer questions live would probably be the easiest thing to do. But yeah, it's definitely not mandatory. We're still doing lots of free stuff. And you'll never have to pay to watch a video here on YouTube. The videos are free to watch. Yay. All right, I've talked all my voice away. I need to go get the blood out of this anchor quilt. And I just want to thank y'all so much for hanging out with me, spending time with me. I hope you grab the free pattern for this block. If you make it, I would love to see pictures of it over on the Creative Crew. Share your pictures of this. I would love to see what colors you use. And if you make a quilt out of it, I would love to see that too. Yeah, and I don't know what we're doing next week. Probably another quilt block. We'll see. I have a couple different ideas. But yeah, we'll look forward to seeing you next Thursday. Bye, everybody. I always have a hard time finding the end button. Oh, hold on before we go. Sylvia said, where do I find the creative group? There's a link for it down in the description box. Sherry, that's a really great idea, adding timestamps. Some of the really long videos, the lives, I have added timestamps, which helps so much. But yeah, That's a really good reminder, because then they can just click on that and go right to that point in the video. All right, everybody. Love you so much. See you next Thursday.